All right, guys, this will be the first and last times you'll ever see me touch this car. Part of the agreement with my wife was that I could have two cars, but I'm not allowed to spend all weekend on her car. So we leased this thing, Ford Explorer Sport. It's actually a pretty sweet car. So this is what love bugs look like in Central Florida. I'm gonna do exactly what I tell all you guys not to do because I don't care about this car. I'm just gonna get the bugs off. She's gonna take it to the car wash. Surprisingly, this thing really doesn't have a lot of swirls on it. Probably because she doesn't get it washed very often. But part of the agreement was that I could lease her a car and I wouldn't have to mess with it. So that way I can spend all the time on my car. And sometimes it bothers me, but it's actually pretty freeing to know that I don't have to mess with her car. So I'm going to show you real quickly how I scrape these bugs off with a Griot's bug mitt. Again, don't do this to your own car. Don't use freaking dryer sheets and all this other cockamamie crap and Pam and stuff like that. Just wash them off. I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm not even going to use soap because I don't care about this car. And it really doesn't. I've got OptiCoat on here, OptiCoat 2.0, so we really don't have to worry much about it. So I'm going to scrape these bugs off, show you how I do it real quickly, and you can make fun of me later. Get the hose bugs like this. And let's say this was on my car that I actually care about. What I would do is, spray the car down with the pressure washer, foam it, clean it, then just hose off the front and then grab one of these bug mitts. Since the car's all clean, I've gotten all the dirt off of it, then I'm safe to use something like this to get the bugs off. Now, if you're not in Florida, you don't have to worry about any of this. If you've waxed your car like I do with Colonite or coated it with some other coating, you shouldn't even have to worry about using a bug mitt because the bugs should wipe right off. And what doesn't wipe off, you can get the rest off with a detail spray when you're finishing up your cleaning job. So, because I know she's going to the car wash, but they won't get these bugs off. And if you leave love bugs on the paint, they'll etch the paint. So I just make sure to come out here and do this. And what she's gonna do, I'm not gonna dry the car off. She's gonna drive. She's gonna drive in a few minutes, go directly to the car wash. So it'll blow off all the water, so she won't get water spots. I'm telling you, if your wife doesn't care about cars, this is the way to do it. Buy her a decent car. Like, this is actually a pretty sweet car. It's super comfortable. One of the problems I have with the smaller SUVs, first of all, I said I would never ever own an SUV. So I had to eat the words on that one. I've always argued, well, what do you need all this room for? Just get a four-door sedan. So I bought her an Accord, not an Accord, Audi A4. We traded her Accord. She had an Accord. But got her at Audi A4 titanium package. It was ibis white. The thing was freaking sweet. In 19s, and what happened was she hit a curb. And because she was too lazy to get out at the, make sure you can see me. Yeah, you can. At the bank or something like that, or Chick-fil-A, who knows. And I sold the car the next week. And then the other thing I learned, I had to eat my words on this one, just like I had to with Apple products at some point. I had to learn that when you have a kid, there's a lot of crap that goes with it. I just assume, you got a trunk, just put the crap in the trunk. Well, that's not really the case. So then I set out on a mission. Okay, we're gonna need an SUV, but I don't want an SUV that's just a car on stilts. All these stupid, Forgive me if you guys own some of these things, but I just don't understand what's the point of having a car on stilts. Just get a car. And I'm talking about car on stilts, I'm talking about like, you know, like the Macan Turbo and the whatever that goofy little Infinity thing is, and all these crossover SUVs. It's not an SUV, just get a freaking car. Buy an Audi A6 or a BMW 5 Series and you have just as much room, if not more. So I went and tested out all these cars, and you know, it doesn't serve you any purpose to have an SUV where I've got to still push the seat up to the dash when you got a baby seat in the back. So there were two SUVs that weren't like giant monsters, you know, like a Land Rover or a Ford Expedition or something. There were really only two options: the Explorer and the Infinity, whatever that thing is. I think the JX, I think it's called. So the JX thing didn't lease as well, so at least this sucker, they freaking give these things away. It's like a $50,000 car that I leased for $500 a month. We have, let's see, when do I gotta turn this sucker in? In March of next year. The only bad thing is she's the only stay-at-home mom that drives 25,000 miles a year. So I'm sure that's gonna cost me a bunch of extra money. But even still, to me, it's worth the peace of mind that I don't have to worry about this car. The wheels are all curved up, and I've never hit a curb in my life. But the beauty of it is I just don't care. But I care enough to, you can't leave love bugs on the car because it'll ruin the paint. So I'm just knocking this out real quickly for her. To her credit, she would take them off too, but I just told her I'd do this real quickly for her because she's got to run to the grocery store and then get the car washed. So you can see the paint of love bugs. Now they come off my paint a little easier because I've got wax on it. But this is a detailer's nightmare in Florida. Being in Florida 2 times a year, we got to deal with these stupid love bugs. And then you got to be careful, getting water spots in the car and all kinds of problems that come with it. Like I said, when she goes the car wash place, they'll get the major guts off, but not the part that actually etches the paint. I probably should just wash the whole thing, but I'm washing my M3 today, so I'm not interested in that. Anyway, so you guys get the idea. I'll knock out the windshield and the mirrors. And we're done.